Hey, I'm Chicken. I'm a Div 8 Stamper player that's been wanting to help out the scene with coaching and guides and making some guides and helping out that way about topics that I don't see talked about much, and it's something that I felt like God put on my heart. So one thing that I'm going to be talking about today that I don't think I see a lot is the different ways to fight, and like not as much as a team because 1v1s is one of them, but like what kind of fighting your team comp wants to take, and then thinking about it in the context of what the enemy wants to do, and taking and then playing the ways that they really can't. Like for example, if you have chip and they don't have chip, play chip or something like that. So before I get too ahead of myself and talk about things that I need to explain before I start yapping about, I want to talk about the different kinds of fights here. So what I'm defining as a kind of fight here is 1v1s, 2v1s, team fights, which I'm defining as two players from each team in as a team fight, and then there's Chip. And I know for a fact I'm aware that Chip really kind of goes into the other fights. I just feel like it's something to mention because some teams can do it, some teams can't, and then teams that can't Chip are going to be trying to play faster than teams that can Chip because the teams that can Chip can just slow down and get free advantage when they want it. So to compare two weapons. So and also get into the point of another point I want to make is there's different kinds of, you win 1v1s and get advantage for different reasons. So I have I have Deco Carbon and I have Slosher. And Slosher is good at 1v1s, it's good at team fighting because it has really good combo numbers. And it's good at 1v1s for different reasons than Carbon because it can outrange and it can do funny terrain things, which Carbon can also do funny terrain things, but it doesn't have as much range. It's really more trying to be sneaky and it has a much faster time to kill. So if Carbon gets in, it can kill Slosher, but if Slosher spaces Carbon, it wins. So they're both good at 1v1ing, they just 1v1 in different ways, and they're both good at different kinds of fighting. I'm not saying Carbon can't team fight. It has burst bomb, it can chip, things like that. And I'm not saying and Slosher's kind of good at everything, but if it was something else like Dread, I'm not saying Dread can't 1v1, although it does have, I'm not saying Dread can't 1v1 if it likes to chip and stuff like that more. I'm just saying it's better at this, and if you play toward this more, you're playing toward your strengths better, especially when other weapons are likely to beat you at it when people are actually running good stuff. They're not running like random things that aren't very good in the game. So what I wanted to really explain my point is I wanted to do this. So to make two comps, so what I'll be doing is I'll be making a double midline comp, not you, you can go. But making a double midline comp versus a hide and seeky kind of comp that to illustrate my point. So here we have the weapons that I will be using for my demonstration. We have our wonderful team comps. Team comp, which I'm going to be calling this one Team Comp A and this one Team Comp B because I feel like it. So Team Comp A, the hide and seeky comp, is good at 1v1s, and while it still has really good chip here, this team is going to have better chip because, I mean, it's a V-Splash, Range Blaster, Bucket, and Pin. You're not out chipping that monster of a chip or slash team fighting, because generally if you have good chip, you're also good at team fighting since you have good combo numbers. And so this team's looking for more 1v1s because Stamper outranges Slosher and Blaster. Carbon can play sneaky and then just out time to kill these guys in a matter of seconds. They can also kind of do this to like Pin and V-Splash, but really more talk about the frontline weapons that actually want to be fighting here. So they're doing that kind of thing, and then whereas these guys are trying to look at how many 2v1s, how many team fights they can set up because they do those much better than these guys can. And they get more value out of it because they can win them much easier than 1v1s or things like that, unless they get their terrain advantage, because these are terrain advantage kind of 1v1 weapons. So, and then to like further illustrate my point about like, okay, looking what the enemy does and then changing your plan based off of it. Let's say enemy team changes to now most competitive teams aren't going to swap their style change this much. But like just as an example, this is the enemy team's comp now. They have 52 in V-Roller. Now they can still play sneaky. Stamper can still do Stamper things and just destroy them in 1v1s, but still, this team is now the better team at chipping and kind of therefore team fighting. So now they can play more towards chip and team fighting, whereas earlier they get beat if they try to chip or team fight just because the other team's so much better at doing that than them or is better. So it's easier for the other team to play chip better than them. So why play something they're good at? So now this team is looking to be the chippy team and keep the enemy team low via chip. And whereas now this is the team that is trying to play aggressive and do the normal, because these are both really hide and seek comps. Both of them are geared towards 1v1ing, but in this scenario, this team may want to do something different because this team is going to be better at 1v1ing. Because, I mean, like, come on, it's a V52, that thing can throw a wall up, and, like, Stamper doesn't really want to sit around and shred walls, so, yeah. So that's what I wanted to talk about, so I hope that was helpful. If you found it helpful, sub, like, or if you have any questions or comments, throw it in the comment section and I'll see what I do about that. I might make a new video if it's a good enough comment. So, see y'all later.